Hello everyone, my name is Denise. I'm a Catholic counselor and today I'll be doing a video on codependency. So this is not the first time I'm doing this video. I made one before and I thought it wasn't good enough or up to scratch, so I decided to remove it, and now I'm re-recording and reposting this video. So okay, codependency is a term traditionally used to describe enabling behavior associated maybe with alcoholics. Then it sort of got co-opted to people with personality disorders, the people who surround them, oscillate around them, and so-called allow these antagonistic personality types to continue being as they are. Okay, so codependency is actually quite a dirty word, and also commonly used, maybe unintentionally or maybe intentionally, to shame those who refuse to leave toxic relationships, codependent. So codependency, I've been thinking a lot about it, and I thought of a way to describe it. For example, okay, in Singapore, the aircon is always around because it's very hot, right? So when it's very hot, there's a thermostat, which is like a thermometer within the aircon, who will detect that the temperature is now higher. I set at 25 and now maybe it's 28 degrees in the room. So please, it's time to blow aggressively cold air until the room temperature is restabilized at 25. So people who are codependent have a ultra sensitive thermostat in relationship to the person that they're trying to regulate. So when they feel that I think that this thing might potentially be triggering, or I sense that you are about to be triggered, suddenly I'll rush in to rescue you with my words or my actions to soothe you before it escalates. Okay, so usually these behaviors are picked up from early childhood. Maybe you have one or two volatile parents, and your temperament is such that you are more agreeable and not very neurotic, and also maybe mature for your age. So it became your role in the family to regulate your parents to keep everyone else safe. So in adulthood, it could be that you fell in love with another fairly volatile man because it's familiar, and then you just continue your co-regulation, your codependency. So okay, codependency, not to be confused with co-regulation, which is a good thing. All human beings co-regulate. We sense other people's nervous system, they sense ours, and we co-regulate. That is healthy and good. Codependency has an effect of more like I am really coming in to protect and to regulate another person, but it is not in a way reciprocated, and it is in this protection that prevents the person from gaining enough insight to change, to push them towards contemplation, preparation, action stage to get rid of whatever ails them, whether it is their addictive behavior or just their antagonism. Okay, you probably can't become more agreeable, but you at least can push against your grain and try your best to be a little nicer. So what to do? Let's say if I'm a therapist, which I am, and I see like my clients coming into the room, and they complain about things like when I am stressed, I start to freeze and I fawn, and I try to co-regulate, and I become a people pleaser. Whatever my boss says, I just say okay, let me do it, because I don't want my boss to get angry. So that could be some vestiges of the childhood codependency that is still creeping in, or maybe some, like a husband comes in and complains, my wife just doesn't tell me what she needs. I don't even know if she knows what she needs. Also, maybe the wife is now codependent, and it wasn't safe for her in her childhood to express her needs, because it might be weaponized against her. Like, you are so needy, why are you so needy? Be more independent. Or it might be like, why do you have so many needs? So weaponized, yes, or maybe not, just simply the needs will not be met. So what's the point of saying it? So all these are scripts that we need to push against. If I use transactional analysis, this could be injunctions like don't be important, don't matter, don't be loved, don't have needs, right? So now, as a therapist and as an adult, we need to go against these injunctions and say, yes, I can be important, I am important, it's normal to have needs, it's important to voice out those needs, and it's important to give people time to meet those needs, because in reality, sometimes even after you voice out your needs, your partner might not be able to pick it up and execute it 100% correctly on the first try. They might need time to learn how to meet your needs perfectly well, so you need to be patient. But sometimes if they don't meet it perfectly well in the first try, the old wound gets triggered, right? You start to feel that, oh gosh, they don't care about my needs. The conclusion, I should never say my needs again, I should never express my needs. That's the wrong conclusion. You need to have patience and wait for people to learn how to meet your needs. Lastly, if you are like really trapped in a relationship with an antagonistic person, or in a relationship with an addict who doesn't want to change, then it is important to also start to assess your level of codependency, and sometimes to execute tough love. The simple thing with Asian culture, especially for women, we are, especially I'm quite like that, right? Peacemaking, we want to maintain the peace. So start to rage, we soothe, right? But that may not be what they need. It might solve the conflict now, but it leads to bigger conflict in future. So sometimes it might be necessary to let it happen, let all hell break loose, let them hit rock bottom, and then get the help they need. That is tough love. It may not be so easy to do, so you don't have to go through it alone. You please go and get some help, some friends or some therapists to be on your side. Okay, so in summary, codependency used to be to describe the complementary relationship: addict, codependent; personality disorder, codependent. Okay, so it's sort of kind of a dirty word, insinuating a kind of enabling of the toxic person to continue being toxic, and usually arising in early childhood. If you have a parent with personality disorder, negligent parent, or an addict as a parent, then it creates a kind of coping that then becomes almost all-consuming. It so-called also prevents you from developing your personality fully as you would have if you were growing up in a healthy environment. In adulthood, you might fall in love with a familiar feeling and fall in love with another person who needs a lot of regulation, and it may not be the best for you. Or you might just fall in love with another person who is perfectly normal but then unable to express your needs clearly and repeatedly, and have patience for the person to learn those needs and to execute them well. So it's important to identify codependency within yourself so that you can change and have a happy life, live a best life, live the life that God intended you to live, and not one that is so got shackled by those chains of childhood trauma. Thank you so much, and God bless.